Hi, my friends, it's Catherine McIntosh, and I wanted to do this video live. However, I'm feeling really raw and vulnerable and wasn't sure if I did it live how shiny ball syndrome and distracted me would be able to navigate this conversation. So I wanted to have a conversation with you. And it's something that I have been wanting to talk about for a really long time, but haven't really known how to put the pieces together. So there, I just got off of NJD every day. And so, it's this thing where every morning for 15 minutes, we use the tools of access consciousness and sort of destroy and uncreate and ultimately just let go. We let go of the conclusions, the constructs, the need to hang on to things as they are. And, living in the space and the experience of a pandemic where everything has changed, I think has really forced all of us to look at what we value, to look at what choices make us come alive. And so we have more distractions now, more than ever online, but we also have less distractions in the sense that we've all been invited to go quiet, to go internal, to really look at what we choose. And so I was saying this morning that, I'm gonna cry. Sometimes we're so eager, and I'll speak for myself, I'm so eager to want to have closure to things or want to have an answer. So, I've been on and off in a relationship for almost a year, and I haven't talked about it because on one level it was so expansive and amazing, and so many things that I was asking for showed up. And on the other hand, there was this piece about it that was slightly volatile, slightly toxic. And hey, this is not to place blame on anyone. This is to say that it's also revealed some places in my own life where I needed to heal. I needed to clean up. I needed to have a little bit more integrity. And I didn't really know how to talk about it being in the middle of it. And I'll say from an emotional standpoint, I'm still in the middle of it. There are lots of things navigating. And so the hardest thing for me to do right now is to give it space without needing to have an answer, right? So in my heart, I know what's true for me, right? But since there is other energies and things involved in this experience, the only thing I can do right now is choose things that surrender so that I have peace. I don't know how else to say that. I was listening to Mel Robbins this morning. I saw a little thing on Instagram, and she was talking about her definition of forgiveness was essentially that she no longer holds the resentment in her heart. And she was talking about forgiving yourself, right? Forgiving yourself for things that you may or may not have chosen, right? And so, my friends, in this time, wherever you are in your journey, one of the gifts of life is we're taught we need to know. We're taught we need to choose. We're taught we need to act. And yes, 90% of the time, it is probably the thing to do, is to be decisive, to know, to make a choice, to move forward, to commit. And sometimes there is that gift and surrender of not knowing. And while simultaneously choosing energies that make you come alive, right? while simultaneously choosing energies that make you come alive, while simultaneously choosing to allow what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, the emotions. So whether it's sadness, whether it's pain, whether it's grief, whether it's confusion, instead of trying to resolve it, which sometimes we're so quick to want to resolve, what if we surrendered into it and allowed the gift of it to contribute? So I will say from personal experience and past relationships, wanting to end them and just have resolve and move on. And that serves a time and a purpose, right? And then I notice what's the rush? And what I mean by that is, what's the rush in closing a door on an emotion that might change your life? What's the rush on closing the door and needing resolve and needing to get rid of it and needing to change it on a pain that may actually serve? And so it's really interesting, on my back, just as I started talking, I started having this mid to lower back pain. And I'm facilitating a class next week called Underneath the Surface. We're going to do it on Zoom over 5 days, specifically looking at energy work, and sort of opening the door to the unseen, unspoken, unsaid energies, and really allowing you to investigate, what is it you know about energy? How do you perceive energy? Do you perceive it through smell, through taste, through touch, through sensing, right? Do you perceive it through colors? Like, there's so many different ways in which we all perceive energy, and it's about activating and acknowledging that that is your way, so that you can have more clarity and more aliveness and more choice in every area of your life. And so as I was talking, all of a sudden, and it's still there, this mid to lower back pain just on my left side. And so it's like, wow, okay, so the pain, if I wasn't trying to get rid of it, and this makes me want to cry, right? If I wasn't trying to get rid of it, and I just closed my eyes for a second and gave myself permission and went inside and said hi to the pain, right? Whew, hi to the pain. And you say hi to it from not trying to change it, not trying to fix it, not trying to make it right, not trying to make it wrong. And as I'm talking, it's changing in its intensity. So it went low, and then it went high, and then it went low. And so if it's just a matter of sitting with it and allowing it to be there so it can gift you an awareness. And so it's like I'm sitting here, and it's cool because it's literally like almost the energy of melting. It's like, okay, pain, you're not right, you're not wrong. I'm just going to say hi to you. What's the gift in you being here? And so I just heard to let your light out, right? And it's like, to be space. Whew. And so as I'm doing that, I'm sinking into my body. Okay, to be kindness. Whew. Okay. And slowly but surely it's melting. However, it continues to morph. And so there's no rush in needing to have resolve. It's, there's a quote by Orion Mountain Dreamer. It's actually a poem. And one of the pieces in the poem, and I might not be getting it exactly word for word, but the gist of it is, I want to know if you can sit with pain, my pain or yours, and not try to hide it, fade it, or fix it. And so often in this steadfast, like instant gratification culture that we're in, we want change to be instantaneous. We want to fix the pain. We want to change the pain. We want to hide the suffering. We want to hide places where we feel scared or we don't know. And what if we did the opposite? What if we just sat with it? Nobody needs to know. And if you want to share it, by all means, but it's like, do what feels authentic to you in the moment. Choose for what feels right to you in the moment. And so I'm a little bit of a disaster this morning. I don't have makeup on. I, woke up and did my 15 minutes of NJD. I've got crazy wild hair today. But it was like, I knew I wanted to get on and just have this conversation with you from a place of there is no right and there is no wrong. And if you weren't in a hurry to get to the resolve or the bottom of things, right? Just like birthing a baby, there's that moment, at least for me, when I was pregnant, where it was like, oh my God, I'm ready to have this baby. And it's really funny. So I was ready to have the baby when I thought that I was 40 weeks along. I had to go in and get a sonogram, and it was, I think, the first sonogram I ever had, right? So I chose not to do like normal medical stuff when you're pregnant. I was 36 years old, going on 37, and everyone said, oh, you better have a hospital. I was like, I have backup doctors. I have a hospital 2 minutes from my house. If I need to do that, I will definitely do it. But I also knew the gift in having a home birth, the gift in not doing a whole lot of doctor's visits and pokes and prods and sonograms and ultrasounds. I guess ultrasound, not a sonogram, sorry. Ultrasound. And so I went in at 40 weeks with an ultrasound, and they looked at me and they said, oh, you're not 40 weeks, you're only 36 weeks. You have 4 more weeks to go. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I was ready. And so I spent 4 weeks in this limbo. I wasn't working. I was resting. I was being an allowance. I was getting a lot of energy work done. I was getting my bars run quite a lot. I was getting MTVSS run on my body because Gary, the founder of Access, says if you run, sort of crown and sacrum or back of neck and sacrum, MTVSS along your spine 30 times, it can change the structure of your body. And it definitely not only changed my structure, it changed my son's structure once he was born. And what a gift that was for both of us. And so there was this moment in the pregnancy where I was like, oh my God, I thought I was ready. And I had to sit in limbo. So I couldn't rush him coming out of me. I didn't want to do that. That wasn't honoring. So I really had to spend time with myself in a way that I don't think I ever did before. And it was humbling. It was beautiful. There were so many life lessons, and it was also simultaneously really uncomfortable because I was sitting in limbo, not knowing, sitting in limbo with nothing really to do except be with myself and be with the knowing that really shortly my entire life was going to change and I was going to become a mom. And so oftentimes we want to rush things, and this makes me want to cry, the gift is to not rush it, to be an allowance, to allow things to contribute and support and gift to you, right? And to really choose the gift, right, of what's possible and what's available. So with that being said, my friends, what if you just sat with what's true for you today and you didn't try to force an answer, you didn't try to force an outcome, and you just allowed yourself to lean into, surrender into, receive into, allow into the gift of not knowing, the gift of not forcing a choice. Yeah. So, as always, everything we choose is a gift. As always, everywhere we are is a gift. It's just a matter of what's your perspective of that. So, my friends, one, you're invited to dive deep underneath the surface with what you know and what you didn't even know that you know about energy, about the body, about the way your body desires to communicate to you about your life, but also the way your body desires to communicate to you about what you know outside of you. And as always, there's no right choice and there's no wrong choice. But if you've been curious about how you can open up your own gifts in perceiving energy, in, acknowledging the energy and acknowledging what you know, you're invited for this 5-day Zoom class. And you guys, it's only $97. I've been asked and I've taught all over the world. People have paid thousands of dollars to come to my classes. People have paid $1,000 for my sessions. And, I've been doing energy work for 20 years and I've been playing with the body for 20 years. But the truth is, I've been playing with the body and with what I know about energy and about bodies and about trusting the unseen, unsaid my whole life. And so if you would like to open the door on what you know, you're invited to join me on this series called Underneath the Surface. And wherever you are in your journey, I want to just give you permission to not try to force an outcome today, to not try to make something happen, but instead to surrender into what's actually possible and what's actually available. So, my friends, I adore you so much. I really, truly do. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. I hope you have an amazing journey and allow yourself to be messy, right? To not be perfect, to roll out of bed and know you have something important that needs to be said now. Yeah. And let the gift be what the gift wants to be instead of you deciding what it has to be. So I adore you all so much. Thank you for the longer video. May it contribute to you wherever you are in your journey. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And that's all I got for you. Bye for now.